everybody. Welcome to the Unwavering Stance. Is this episode 12? I think it's episode 12.
Yeah.
I'm such a good host, I remember. I'm your host, Stark4machines, joined by Deedledo, and DadBodGamingGod, the two hardcore solo self-found masochists. Deedle, what have you been up to? What's going on in hardcore solo self-found?
So, last time we had discussed some things, and I was playing, a Bladefall Blade Blast Trickster? He died.
Tied to what?
Effigy of the Buccaneer in the lake. It was like a difficulty 14, and I found out something. Apparently, his rain of arrows has a shocked ground that it puts down. Although there is no animation for shocked ground when it goes down. You're just shocked. And
that's shitty.
Yeah, I wish I could move debuffs because I don't look in the top left of my screen. I'm looking at what's going on and maybe my health globe.
Right.
The top left is the farthest thing that I'm looking at. So I didn't see that I was even shocked. And now I should have had reduced shock effect. Or at least, some sort of shock immunity. But I was working on it. I was still in the process of building the character. It was like 83. And he just caught me right on the edge with his rain of arrows and just clean one-shot me. I've been one-shot like 3 times or something in this league. And he was like at level 83. And then he died. The effigy of the Buccaneer died right after I died. And I was just like, what the hell? Are you serious? Because I was playing poison. So he was already pretty much dead.
Yeah.
And he caught me with the edge. Like one arrow just clipped me and just bam, took me down. So if you'll remember, I don't know if I said this on the cast or if I said it on the pre-cast or the after-cast. I know I said it last week. I said that I would take down Exarch since Exarch is giving me some issues.
That's right, with the balls. Yep.
I was going to have Exarch down by this cast. Mark my words. So I re-rolled a Righteous Fire Jug. I said, you know what? I'm tired of dying. I don't care if I'm doing ZDPS. I will not die on this build, and if I die on this build, then I don't know what to fucking do. I'm just kind of, at a wit's end. So I re-roll Righteous Fire Jug. Initially, I was going to do it as an Inquisitor. I was talking about it, and somebody, Scrim, was in my chat, and he was like, why not Jug? And I was like, Jug? I'm not gonna do Jug. I'll do Inquiz. But it made me start thinking about things.
Chris Wilson's favorite ascendancy.
So I'm like, you know what? Let me look at my POB. So I just swapped a few points around, and I swapped it from Inquisitor to Juggernaut. Picked a couple of the life regen, the armor from your chest is doubled, and 8% of armor is applied to elemental hits, and then Unwavering and Unyielding or something, or Unrelenting. One of them other ones. And I was like, you know what? We'll have a little bit less damage, not much, but our tankiness will be through the roof. So
yeah,
I re-rolled RF Jug, leveled with Helix, like I normally do for every build.
You're level 95 or 96 now with that Jug, right?
I just hit 95.
Yeah.
We killed Exarch yesterday,
nice.
And it was smooth fucking sailing.
Yeah.
Like, the balls don't even do anything. The only thing that really messes with you... Well, I got hit I think we counted 6 times.
The balls hit you 6 times on a Jug, and you just fucking tanked it?
It's just walk through it.
Wow.
It's not an issue unless you're standing on the vent.
Wow.
Because the vents this league now disable all regen and life flask usage, any life recovery at all, like the Maven spinny beams.
Thanks, GGG.
The vents now do the same thing in Exarch. And also Cirrus Storms also do that now.
And on top of that, if you don't already know, the vents also give you negative max res.
They give you negative max fire, and they also prevent cooldown or lengthen the cooldown of your movement skills as well. So yeah, we did it. It felt like breeze through it. So now I'm setting up for Maven. I have the Writ farmed. I did that today. I got an extra level because I needed like 1 more point. I didn't need it, but I wanted it. swapped around some stuff. I dropped Rise of the Phoenix for a +3 max res +2 all max res shield with some better life. And I'm gonna swap the 3 max res to cold for Maven, and then swap it back to fire once I'm done with Maven. I did a little bit of practice before the cast on a really scuffed jug and standard, and it should be fine. I just need to do it, but I ran out of time before the cast started, so we're gonna get that done tomorrow. And then once we do that, if we succeed and don't brick it or die, which I don't think I will, then it's on to Uber Elder. Finally. I'm so far behind on everything this league. Like, it's been a struggle bus, which I'm pretty sure we'll get into a bit later.
When you say swapping max res, is that with Harvest?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
you
didn't
can do
know
that
if
with
you could
max
do that or
res
not.
too. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so if
cool.
it's like initially it said +3 max lightning and +2 all res, or +2 max all, so it gave +5 to lightning, to max lightning res. But I needed it for Maven. I'm gonna swap it to cold, which is already like that now. So I'll be at 87 fire, 83 cold, and 80 lightning.
Oh wow.
80,000 armor, 6.1k life, 2,400 regen without endurance charges.
That's
About
nice.
3,000 with.
Yeah. How
So I
many
can just
endurance charges?
stand on the 6.
Nice.
So I can just stand on the degen puddles.
That's
The only thing I really need to watch out for is the memory game
yeah.
and the probably the death beam. I don't think I can tank, but I think everything else would be fine as long as it doesn't matter if it takes me a half an hour. As long as I don't just totally mess up everything, then I'm pretty sure we'll be fine.
Did you two see
Quinn
Quinn tanking that memory game? Did you two see that?
He's got a bit more armor than me. He's got a brass dome.
Got it.
And he's got a little bit more armor than I have. We probably could get to that point with enough farming, but
he's also a melee, or he's shield crush, right?
So he's shield crush, so he's got fortify too.
Yeah, that's 20%.
But I don't think I don't know if he'd have fortify. I can't remember if he had fortify up during that, because you have to figure you have memory game going off, right? And if that takes a minute and you're not hitting anything, and then you have to fail the memory game. So I don't know. I don't remember if he had fortify up or not. I don't think he would. Even if you had the double duration on the tree, I don't think you'd have it.
Unless he has like a worm flask or something.
Yeah, but I don't think he was doing that.
Interesting.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what we got, or I got.
DadBod.
In much less exciting, much less progressive terms, you got me, DadBod reroll god. So as of the last podcast,
Rise would be proud.
Yeah, bruh, it's rough. So last week I was talking about that I was rerolling my Arcane Cloak Stormbrand Mana Boy, which again still feels great. Was feeling awesome. Making my way through red maps, doing a bunch of progression. I was a bit underleveled for red maps, honestly. I should have been in yellows, but I was still like dealing plenty of damage, felt tanky. And honestly, I think I died to a bug. I don't know what happened. Because I opened a white strongbox, had no mods on it. The map that I was in had Fizz Reflect. There is no Fizz anywhere on my build. I have no Fizz damage on my Stormbrand or at all, anything. So the strongbox opens, I run away and put my oh no, that's what it was. Hold up.
Did you just figure out what it was?
I think, yeah, I gotta Google something.
Oh, look at you. You literally just figured, oh, that's good. No, that's good though.
Wait. Oh no, I killed myself to Fizz Reflect as a Stormbrand build.
Because you were doing fizz damage?
Void Sphere.
Yep.
Void Sphere only converts 40%.
That's correct.
Yes.
You need to convert another 60. Yep.
And it pulses every 0.4 seconds. Oh my god.
Hey,
I'm an idiot.
No. You're just scissoring. You're not an idiot. You're just
Or me.
scissoring.
Oh my god.
Didn't I kill myself to reflect this league?
Look, I mean, everybody pulls a scissoring. It's fine.
Was it?
You can.
No, it was last league. I killed myself.
I was so confused. I was like, how did I die to Fizz Reflect as an arcane cloak build? I'm pure lightning. And I thought that I thought my hydrosphere had bugged out and it didn't convert damage, and that's what I died from. But no, it was absolutely Void Sphere, because Void Sphere only converts 40% to chaos. Okay. Well, now I feel a little bit better, but also a little bit worse. But that's okay. By the way, for brand builds in general, where you can't run like a decoy totem, Void Sphere is really, really powerful. Because it kind of keeps things centralized, and also I had the Uber Lab enchant that makes things take increased damage the closer they are to the middle of it, which is pretty powerful, honestly. Just make sure you don't run Fizz Reflect maps with it, apparently. But yeah, so I died on that, killed myself to reflect, re-rolled, and I'm like, and it took me like an entire day to figure out what I wanted to play, and I'm like, you know what? Summon Holy Relic got buffed this league. Let's re-roll Summon Holy Relic. I'm gonna do a Juggernaut, since I'd watched Deedle like kind of show off how Juggernaut feels defensively. So start re-rolling Jug. I'm not one to level like Deedle does, where he just levels with Helix until like
And then you
maps
switch it.
and then swaps over.
Yeah.
I like to level with the skills that I'm actually going to be using late game.
That's common. I know a lot of people that like to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's so common you wouldn't believe.
Except that Holy Relic is really, really squishy early. Like extreme. Yeah. I got to Dominus, and the 3 blackguards that, like, not even the experiment unique mobs, but the actual just the blackguard mobs kept one hitting the Holy Relic, so I could not deal damage. To the point where I just said fuck this and logged out and moved all of my gear into my stash and deleted the character. I was just like, you know what, that was a waste of time. I need to figure something else out. And then Deedle was like, just like level with like Helix, and because Relic gets way tankier later, which is true. It is true that minions get way better later.
True, with the gear especially now.
Pissed. Yep. I also kind of went with the decision that I didn't want to continue with that build, was that I don't have Joffrey's Crest, which is pretty mandatory for a Holy Relic build. It literally doubles your damage, and yeah, so since I didn't have that, it didn't really. If I ever get it, I'll try re-rolling it again down the line. But for right now, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Let me find something else. So I have re-rolled. Actually, re-rolled this yesterday, and I'm back to maps now. The War Chief Totem champion again, since I got super pissed about dying to Soul Eater last time. So I realized something. I logged into the old champion that died. I didn't realize this. I died to a Soul Eater in a Coward's Trial that was a tier 10 map. I was level 75 in that map. That was like, what, 3 or 4 levels under
still Soul Eater,
the zone level in a Coward's Trial.
Yeah.
The fact that I died was not that shouldn't have surprised me. I didn't realize I was that underleveled for the area.
I had a no wave Coward's Trial today.
No way.
All it did was, so you know how like you can have variable waves on the thing? All it said was can have additional waves of undead monsters. No Roas, no Oriathan soldiers, no nothing. All it did was spawn a bunch of skeletons.
Yep.
It was kind of cool, actually.
But I would also like to make the suggestion that since pizza sticks is a thing with flame bass totems, and especially with Tanti Untel in chat, I hereby motion for War Chief totems to be called breadsticks. Because that's what the name of my character is DadBod Breadstick God.
So since Tati Untel 2 is in chat, I'm gonna give him a shout out. He is the totem god of the Path of Exile community. If you don't know Tati, he does totems, all totems. He loves totems. He's the totem guy.
He's doing a really cool build right now where he's using reverse knockback gloves with torch oak boots.
Yeah.
Where they do damage when he's using Eye of Innocence, the reverse knockback gloves, and torch oak, so they reflect 100% of their life as fire damage when they are hit, and they're self-hitting. Because when he wears Eye of Innocence, when they hit, they also self-hit. So they reverse knockback, suck everything in, and then do like an AoE explosion based on their life. It's really like 5-hit. I give him a lot of credit.
That's actually really cool.
He's using.
What kind of totem is it? Shockwave totems?
He's using Holy Flame totems.
He's smart with totems. That's the deal.
Tati, I need you to make a shockwave totem build since
it's good shit.
That gem just has never been used for anything.
Pretty sure he has one.
Knockback. Doesn't shockwave totem have built-in knockback too? I don't remember. Like I said, I don't think I've ever used that gem.
Yeah, what's his name? Nito. If you want to see, Nito, that's real. Nito has a really cool poison, caustic arrow poison build. That if you really want to see a poison ballista build, I did poison ballistas with siege ballistas the last totem only league. I think it was either the last one or the one before, and it worked out really well. Siege ballista hits pretty hard and quite frequently.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what about you, Stark? What have you been up to the last week?
Songs. A lot of songs. Started doing
climbing the ranks and shooting blanks.
I mean, look. I'm close to putting that lyric in there. I'm not even joking you.
You're obligated to now.
If I can fit it in there, like I've already got a lyrics about
Zaro couldn't.
I've already got lyrics about him unable to sire an air. So like it's
he is Zaro, not can't Zaro.
I'm so tempted. If I can do it, and because it's not a meme song, it's a serious song. So if I can do it and still have it be serious, I'm gonna fucking do it.
No, it's Cyrus. That's a different boss.
So I'm gonna work more on Azaro.
Oriath will burn to the ground.
That's a different song. I have the music written for. Is it Cirrus or Cyrus? I think it's Cirrus, isn't it? Cirrus? I call him Cirrus.
Zana
is there a second I?
Zana calls him Cirrus.
I mean, there's not another I, so
yeah. If
she says Cirrus, please don't do anything hasty.
Yeah, I always default to Zana.
It's either Cirrus or Cyrus, but definitely not Sirius. That's Harry Potter's godfather.
Hey, Gary Oldman, big up.
It's also a star in the sky.
Yeah,
the North Star.
I like the way Cirrus sounds better. Cirrus Clouds.
Talk to me about no Harry Potter. I'm the one with the tattoo.
Oh shit! My fiance would love you.
What about your video from Zeolth?
What did you just say?
That secret?
No, it's not a secret. I've been working on that a lot. I'm going to work on that after the cast too, I'm
You
gonna.
did it on stream. How's it a secret?
No, it's
Oh,
not.
I didn't know.
It's not a
He
secret.
sent it to me and said, "Hey, don't discuss this. Don't send this to anybody. It's a
don't
secret."
send it to anybody. But the point is, the 30 or 40 viewers that are watching me edit it are not the thousands of people on fucking Reddit that are gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm almost done with it. I've got to make the intro a little bit more Marvel cinematic-y, and then Gamer for Life actually gave me some good feedback on the video. Dracunia, he gave me some really good feedback on like the first minute, so I'm gonna edit the video with his feedback. And yeah, that's really the best. That's the best PoE video I've ever made. It's for those that don't know, I went to ExileCon 2019 and I interviewed every GGG employee I could possibly get on camera, and I asked them how to pronounce the Beyond Boss TZTEOSH. Only one GGG employee got it right, and it's the guy that fucking named the Beyond, the guy that fucking created the name. I think my favorite part about that video is I exclusively interviewed only GGG employees in 2019. I kept one person that was not a GGG employee in that video, Octavian, and what is he now?
A former Floridian.
Yeah, he lives in New Zealand now. He's a G. So the video from 2019 knew all along that he would become a GGG employee. Fucking crazy.
So while we're on that subject of that video,
Sure.
Tatiantel is asking what is the correct pronunciation?
I don't know if I want to say that on the cast because that's the whole
Yeah, so I was like-
that's the whole
that's
point
what
of
I
the
was about to
video.
say.
Yeah, you'll
that's-
just have to watch the video when it comes out. I guess.
That's the whole point of the video. I mean, look,
Still.
Tatiantel, if you stay after the cast, you'll fucking watch. You'll see it. You'll watch it.
If you teach Stark how to play totems, he'll let you in.
The person that
Give him some
introduced me.
totem lore.
The person that got me started playing Path of Exile in 2016, 2.4, literally went Flame Totem before it was Holy Flame Totem. Every single league he would go Flame Totem.
I had a
That was
flame
also
totem
me.
build. Yeah, I had a flame totem
Every
build
single
back then.
league. Every
I used
single league.
Realmender, Realm Shaper, the upgraded one.
He would
Like,
use
back in my day,
a.
levels.
He started in 2.4. He would use Infernal Mantle, and like,
I had
just-
that character on my account for the longest time. I just deleted him not too long ago because I needed character space.
yeah.
He was a pretty older character. He was a Hierophant. He used Realm Shaper, which gave you like +4 levels, +3 levels, plus like a bunch of extra
I used to love Hierophant for totems.
elemental
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah,
as well.
back when they could have 4 totems.
Yep. Those were the days. But
Yeah.
I've been doing that. I've been doing the video on the Beyond Boss, on the ExileCon. So it's all about ExileCon. It's all about the Beyond Boss. I've been heisting a lot with my Scourge Arrow Pathfinder, getting tons of Exalteds and Exalt Shards instead of Divines. Been
You don't need
working.
it.
Yeah.
Stop chasing the money.
Stop chasing them.
Stop chasing the money.
Yep.
But divine power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stop. Yeah, I don't need it. Stop chasing the money. And then a cover of Camel's Legion theme. So I'm gonna make a metal version of the Legion song. The yeah, exactly.
So you've been pumping out some
So yeah, I've got
then, huh?
I got 3 songs in the works. I gotta nail down a vocalist for the Enki Archwitch song. I gotta practice more of my screams for the Exaro song, and the Legion song is gonna have no vocals, so it's probably gonna come out first.
DadBod said he would do vocals on the arc, which
DadBod, give me your DadBod, give me some vocals right now on the spot. Go ahead.
No.
didn't you hear? Wait, you heard my clip from earlier where I was singing? I'll do the vocals.
Yeah,
for you.
hey, let's pull that up. That's I mean, that's like fucking.
Blinded by the XP.
That's better than Taylor Swift. Like better than
I mean,
fucking.
it's a hit. Look, you can't deny it. Like when the magic happens, you're not in control. You're just in flow state. It's just flowing through you. I'm just a conduit to which the music was flowing at the time. Okay,
Look,
I take no
speaking of these-
responsibility. I have antennas that were just poking out, absorbing the flow of information that the universe was giving me, and I put it forth, and now it's immortalized in a clip.
Sheriff just said Deedle sounds like Baby Shark turned 40 when he sings. So there's that.
So speaking of
I am almost 40.
Speaking of these vocal hurdles, how are we going to adapt and overcome this along with the rest of 319?
That was a good segue. Yeah, what are we adapting? Fucking.
Honestly, I have no clue what we are talking about with this specifically.
Deedle knows. Deedle knows.
We talked about it last week at the end of the cast because we were supposed to talk about like the previous cast, but we ran short on time. So the whole principle is okay. So we have like certain situations in Path of Exile for people who have been playing long enough, knows that we've been through like big changes in the past before. Like things like 319 are really no. Like sometimes they come as a surprise, obviously, but we come to expect drastic changes from time to time, like e.g. 3.0 or 315 or 319, right? And the whole principle is like when these problems arise to where, you know, maybe your comfort pick, your build that you like are comfy playing gets changed in a way to where maybe it's not quite as viable and you need to start looking elsewhere, or maybe it's still viable but you need to make changes to it to account for, like this league, the blessing changes.
People get so pissed.
Or the mana reservation changes. These things affected pretty much every build across the board, right? Because pretty much every build was using Divine Blessing, Life Tap, and an Aura, and every build took the Reservation Mastery. It was across the board. Some were hit worse than others, right? Some builds could just make a change and go straight into EB and start using EB and still use Blessing. Some are nowhere near that part of the tree. Maybe you get the Dyadian, Devouring Dyadian.
Yeah.
From Katarina, maybe you could do that.
Yep.
Or maybe you just had to drop it all together and say, you know what?
Well,
my build just lost. Yeah, you're champion. You're gonna path up to EB.
Oh man, I'm talking about like for people on the north side. So like all the conduit builds that were witches were like going EB.
Yeah, some builds could just path to EB. The shadows, like the saboteurs, could just they're right there. It's 2 points away, right? But like certain builds don't have that exact. Just can't do that.
Okay.
So I thought it'd be like, you know, a pretty good idea to like go over some, you know, more recent changes, but even going back to like Stark found 315 rather jarring, whereas I didn't. There was some problems to overcome, and I often say that, you know, and 315 was the first league that I started in HCSSF. We played HCSSF like, you know, pretty much every league, but I made the decision to just only play hardcore solo self-found 315. And I actually league started with a build that was pretty much gutted. I played Earthshatter Champion. Yeah, I decided to play slams right after they pretty much gutted Seismic Cry and everything else. So I had a bunch of things that I needed to try to figure out to try to make it work. One of which, right, was the mana multipliers on gems.
Woof.
The mono multipliers, especially at first, were super heavy. They dialed it back a little bit a week or two in and kind of like met us halfway and compromised and said, you know what, this is not right. Like this doesn't feel right, and we're gonna roll this back a little bit. They didn't revert it entirely, but in that time span, and then the flasks. But in that time span, obviously I had to try to find something to still make things work because the mono multipliers were super heavy. So obviously, like a lot of other people, you either start running a mono flask, which I wasn't going to do, or run life tap, which I did. And doing so allowed me to kind of view other things in a little bit different light by running life tap. And I found the node, which I had never even known about, cannibalistic right, which is on the bottom left side of the tree by Marauder. And
Yep.
what it says is you have 10% reduced life cost of skills. You recover 2% of life on kill if you've spent life recently, and 30% increased damage with skills that cost life. I would have never I would have never taken that node if it wasn't for that. So there being an issue in the first place made me kind of look at other avenues and how to like kind of build into find the solution that fit me, in which
hmm
that node like is a really good node. For one, there's no life on kill like on that side of the tree. All the life on kill is on the top right, pretty much, right? Shadow gets a lot of it. There's a little bit in Witch,
Yeah.
and there's a little bit over by Ranger.
Yep.
There's a little bit in the middle of the tree on like Hired Killer, but you don't do like, if you're in the southwest part of the tree, you're not usually going there.
Nope. It's
So
all
having
regen.
that extra, yeah, it's all regen
Yep.
southwest. So having that like extra 2% life on kill and 30% extra damage is, I mean, it's a pretty hefty notable. Plus, you get reduced cost of your skills.
hmm
But I would have never like put that into any build without those mono multiplier changes, in which I ended up, you know, like if I made a certain build that used like life tap or spent life in any way, corrupting fever, blood rage, then I looked and I was like, oh, I could fit this in, and you know, I can get a decent amount of life on kill as well as, you know, a bit of damage. So like
Yeah.
having an issue or a problem made me find a solution that I could then apply to other builds in the future and expand my
Knowledge.
Rolodex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
my
does.
knowledge.
It does get you better at the game. It always does. Yeah, and that's what the
So-
company wants. Always.
Yeah, and I guess like one of those things that kind of applies to current situations is one of the things you mentioned was the divine blessing changes, where people couldn't just use it with life tap. You couldn't just use it willy nilly. A lot of people did go EB. However, I actually followed Tatiantel uh, with his build from last league, where he was playing like Stormburst totems using Arcane Cloak and stuff. That build could already run Divine Blessing without having to use Life Tap, because you just have a shit ton of mana. And honestly, you don't spend that much, especially when you're a Hierophant and you're taking the node that gives you like 20% reduced mana cost, which for normal like Archmage builds is bad. That's actively like nerfing yourself. When you're not Archmage, it doesn't matter. It actually helps you. So not only is that a way to still use Divine Blessing, but it also helps trigger things like Sigil of Power and things like that. And yeah, it was 50% less mana cost. 20% is the mana, or 20% of mana is extra energy shield. But yeah, like you could trigger Sigil of Power. You can still do the things that you want to do. Some of the other things, though, I'm not really sure if I even have found out what exactly I want to do to get around them, because there are still hurdles in 3.19 that I struggle with.
Yeah, same.
Especially in Soul Self-Found, where like hitting certain damage numbers to even start re-rolling it in POB is a struggle sometimes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are you?
have you tried lightning damage this league?
Yeah.
Yes, I played
It's
Stormbrand a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally took Tatiantel's Stormburst build, dropped the totems, and replaced it with Stormbrand. And that
Yeah.
I've rolled that build twice, three times this league,
What do you
and
think?
it's good.
Yeah. What do you think is
The
the
changes to
barrier? The barrier for the damage. What do you think is stopping you from getting the damage you want?
A
Limits
mixture
himself.
of gear, because it's now harder to get
It is.
gear
It is a
Yeah.
lot
with
harder.
harvest
Yeah.
changes
Oh, that's right.
and
Fucking
unique
harvest
drop
changes.
rate changes.
That's right.
Yeah, essentially,
that's a huge hurdle in itself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you feel the same way about this, Deedle, but right now, to me, for hardcore solo Southbound, if I want gear, I just have to struggle my way through until like level 80 something and then start grinding ROG,
Yeah.
because that's really
I
the
crafted
only
some
way.
really nice ROG stuff today.
I
so,
love ROG and
ROG
solo
is-
Self-Found though. Solo
ROG has
Self-Found
always
ROG is
been- ROG has always been MVP for me though. So many people have slept on ROG for so long because, and I'll tell you why. I think this kind of just jump off track a little bit, but people go into ROG crafting expect to get like a GG almost mirror tier item on everything, and that's not gonna happen. I'll tell you, ROG will strike out, you know, many times in a row and give
Sure.
you almost good stuff, and then he'll be like, oh, why don't we delete these prefixes? No, I don't want to do that. Okay, we'll re-roll the prefixes. No, ROG, we were supposed to do something else. But as much as he strikes out, occasionally he hits a home run, and when he hits a home run, usually
It's really
it's
good.
a grand slam.
Yeah.
You just have to stick with it. And
Yeah.
I found that sometimes, I know this is anecdotal and it's not true, but it seems like sometimes he's moody. Like sometimes I'll go to him and craft like 9 things and everything he just doesn't want to do, and then I'll go like the next day at a different time and I'll craft 3 amazing things back to back to back. It's like you got to find the time of day where he's willing to do the things you want. I know that this isn't really how it works, but like for some reason,
It actually might.
but sometimes
honestly.
it seems like that's the reason. I crafted 3 really nice amulets today and a nice shield, like in a span of like 10 minutes. Yesterday, I tried crafting with them and I just struck out every time. But see, that's the thing, is you kind of have to just stick with it. And people aren't willing to just sit in their hideout, like pressing a button for a little bit to see if, okay, yeah, this.
Yeah.
And
They want to kill monsters. And honestly, that's the crafting in general. You just have to fail a bunch of times, stick with it. It's just the deal.
yeah,
You also like, you said it was anecdotal and you felt like this, but you know that it's not. I honestly don't know if it isn't that way, because evidence kind of suggests otherwise. You know, with Gwennon, you can see based off of currency that she's requesting for certain items that she has built-in higher chance for things, like a higher chance for uniques or higher chance for an influenced item. I don't ever pay attention to the initial. Right. I don't ever pay attention to the initial cost of a ROG item. It might be the same way, to where ROG initial cost may determine whether or not, like, better rolls. Like, oh, you're gonna get +1 the +1 tier to all affixes, which is a insane roll. That might be a thing. I don't know. I don't really, like I said, I don't
so
pay
you're
attention to
saying
the
like
initial costs.
kind of like Gwennon, the initial cost that it's gonna cost you for a certain item could dictate what he's willing to do with the item.
It might. It might be something to look into as far as like just testing.
Who
But
was it? Quantric had a ROG database that he was developing last league, 2 leagues
Interesting.
ago. Exhibit, do you remember this? Is it still up? Did he ever finish it? I remember he was trying to get Karn to help him, and it's like there was I don't remember if they ever finished it or not.
I think we can all just agree ROG is Pog. So
ROG is, yeah. We're
I
all good at the math.
mean, in solo self found, if I ever play solo self found, which I don't do a lot, but when I do, I go straight to Rog, straight to him.
I will tell you, he does have patterns that he will often do. If he ever like says, I want to remove these suffixes or remove these prefixes, I often won't do it because oftentimes, not all the times, but a lot of the times the next one, he'll just straight re-roll it. I have realized that he'll do that. And obviously it's to us anyway, for the information we have, it's random. Maybe DadBod's onto something and it's not a true random and there is some rhyme or reason to something, but we don't know, right?
Right. Now, what bases show up obviously is super random, so there's still absolutely an RNG element. But something that and this is just kind of more with an expedition thing that might help people out there that are playing SSF that aren't very good at it or just may not know this as a tip. Because back in the day, Delve was super useful for getting high level bases. Like you wanted I level 84, I level 88, or 86 rather, for certain things, especially things like axes, like a Vol axe. I level 86, I believe, is what you're wanting.
To roll the
because that's
higher mods, yeah.
83 is
83.
tyrannical and whatever the T1 flat is, yeah.
Right. So you not only can you get those types of bases from Rog, because he goes all the way up to 86 max, but
At
also Gwynin.
level 90, yeah.
Yeah, Gwynin also gets those base types. So you like if you're a an attack build that's using axes and you want an eye level 86 axe, you don't have to go to an eye level 86 area or like do it that way. Just go to Gwynin. It might turn into like a Calm's primacy or whatever the ball axe is. But it also might just
So
be an eye level 86 base for you to start rolling, which is
now
really,
Calm's
really good.
primacy is a chopper.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The Volax
Whatever the Volax is, because I know there's a disfavor which it can't turn into. It might not have another unique
has Mana's bloodlust.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's
True.
that used to be such a good like early maps axe.
Yeah, Rog
Didn't
hardly
his
ever
mana get-
has Atlas bases. He has crystal belts every now and again, and someone has told me they've seen a bone helmet, but I've never seen a vermilion. I've never seen a cerulean. Never seen a steel ring.
But I've seen a blue pearl
It's
amulet.
super rare though. Like,
It
you
is.
hardly ever get it.
Yeah,
So
I've
maybe he
definitely
can
seen a
give you
blue pearl in there.
vermilions and stuff like that, but you're very hard pressed to find them.
Yeah,
I just got my first vermilion yesterday of the league.
I've not. I got my first Iolite ring recently.
I have a million of those, and I have vermilion screaming at me on my my item filter. They make the exalt sound, or I guess it's now the divine sound. The swing, the
Yep.
expensive, and they're bright. It's bright white, big, and with bright blue lettering. I didn't miss any. I
guess
just got one yesterday.
Yeah. And I don't know if we want to skip around on this, but since you brought up the divine and exalt sounds,
let's do it. Let's talk about that.
How do we feel now that we're a month in? Now that the divines and exalts have swapped around.
I think Deedle knows how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think
Go ahead.
I don't really have an issue with them swapping it around. I have an issue with them changing the vendor recipe. I feel like if the vendor recipe still existed, obviously exalts would be way more expensive than they are currently, because right now they're not equal. They have equal drop rates, but they're not equal pricing.
I don't think so. I don't think even if there was divine, it would. I don't think exalts would be more expensive. I think divines would just be cheaper.
I think exalts would be way more expensive.
Because I think a big reason why exalts are usually expensive was the meta mods. When people are meta crafting, they are burning through so many now divines, and that creates a huge sink for those currencies. And the crafting bench, I feel, is the true culprit of the flip flop. right? If they would have kept the 6-link recipe as divine in and still made the crafting bench change, then divines would just be cheaper
Right. I agree with that.
because
I guess so.
that's the sync, right? Like what
Yeah.
else? Like nobody's really, even if you're slamming your gear, there's only so many things you can slam.
There was
However,
no.
metacrafting can it consume hundreds at a session.
Yeah, and there was never any recipe to get exalts besides Vendor Amir or whatever.
That we know of.
No, but
there's
there's 5 different divination cards for them.
Yeah.
You have Brother
And
Stash.
there's also
you have
shards.
Alluring Bounty. You have the Abandoned Wealth. You have the Hoarder. You have there's one other one, right? Is there 4 or 5?
And you have exalted shards from fucking Harbinger and anywhere else they drop.
And then shards. You
Yeah.
have one divine card that only drops from a single boss. You can't even magic find it and get multiples, and it's pretty rare. It only drops off of Dominus in either what is it?
That was
Villa or another one that I don't even think is on the map now. Court.
You can also get it in Act 3. Just saying.
You can, but nobody's gonna do. Why would you do that?
We got to go back to beta Dominus farming. That's how you do it.
There was no Dominus farming in beta.
Or not
Dominus
beta,
was
but
released in 1.0.
like 1.0. Yeah. Just get your quant gear and just go kill Dominus over and over.
People did that.
Yeah.
So,
but
I think that the true culprit is the crafting bench, and I don't. For being an HCSSF, it makes crafting things a little bit more tighter because obviously, like divines, you're just kind of lucking out and getting a few here and there. I think I found like 15 this league, and I just like used a couple to like craft a shield, and I've been wanting to like multi-mod my chest, but I need to scour the suffixes, so it's gonna cost me like 6 divines. I spent 4 crafting the shield, so like 6, 4, that would leave me with 3. And then it's like, if I want to do anything else, it's like, hold on, do I really want to do that? Whereas like with exalts, you could just spec Harby, you could go farm port, you could go do this and do that. Like I feel it creates a lot more strain on gear upgrades in an already strained environment when you have a nerfed harvest and nerfed like or reduced loot drops in general. It just
the crafting has been severely nerfed for Soul Selfhound specifically.
it's
Like
really hard, man. Yeah, and that's
in trade you can buy things and like convert
you can just
chaos
buy
into divines to craft or whatever you want. But Soul Selfhound, you're at the mercy of. Did you find divines yet? No. Okay. Well, you can't get these things, and even exalt things that have all these cards and shards and stuff for, with more things costing exalts instead of divines now, like minimum charges, for example. I'm completely out of. I have 0 exalts, but I have divine orbs. Because I don't need the metamod stuff. I don't need to spend my divine orbs for anything right now. I need more
kind of in
exalts.
the same boat. I have 2 exalts, I have 9 divines, and I've used I think I slammed like 2 or 3 things. I think I found 5 exalts, maybe 4, because I think I made one out of exalt shards from Tujin as well.
Yeah.
So
But
I feel the pressure just as much, and I feel like that contributes a little bit to like the strength of your character and like what you can run. It kind of has a cascading effect because if your gear is not as strong, you can't run as juiced or strong content to try to progress higher and get higher level bases or roll your maps harder to get more quant and rarities. So it kind of has like that cascading effect.
It's always been the issue. Yeah.
You also have some of the things that are also technically they're not in, like they're outside of the game, so they shouldn't technically affect this, but it still should be considered. Things like the guy that created the brother stash was kind of upset about them changing this.
Yep,
but we
I
talked
feel
about
that.
They wouldn't allow him to
before,
change
though,
it to
right?
divines.
But
To
do we
what?
know this to be true? Or is this
Like
just a rumor?
No, he posted on Reddit saying that he contacted GGG once they announced the changes.
So
That
he actually posted it.
Yes, he posted it.
I
And he
mean,
said that he contacted GGG to ask them to change it to 5 divines
Yeah.
instead of 5 exalts,
should be.
and they said no.
That's
Because I
bad
remember
that
we
they
were talking
said
about this
no.
before, and you had said that you weren't sure if it was him or someone
Yeah, it
else.
was. I found the post and it was 100% him, because he even like replied to some people as like, "No, I made the card originally.
But
Here's the
see,
whole
all
backstory."
right. So the backstory is very sad, right? And if you don't know the backstory about Brother Stash, maybe check it out if you're not too lighthearted. But think about it from GGG's perspective here. Let's play devil's advocate. As much
Sure.
as I would like to see it change to divines with this change, but let's take a look at all of the other people who have divination cards in the game, and if they make a succession to him, right? Whether he has a sad story or not, then what's stopping someone else from saying, you know what, I don't like my card either. I want to change my card. And then divination cards just become this revolving door because people are like, you know what, I have a better idea for the card that I bought before, and now I want to do this.
Well,
Well, see, you have like
Think about Stark. Stark
I-
bought a card
I
for a
have-
certain thing for a Quicksilver of Adrenaline
I
when it
have
was 30%.
firsthand experience. Yep.
And like it kind of is what it is. There's other people who've been screwed over on divination cards and things
I
like
think
that
when
as well.
I would tell everybody right now, if anyone's thinking about spending either $660 or $1,000 on a divination card, you need to expect it to be thrown away in a few leagues. Just expect it.
And I think the thing that it shouldn't really be about, and this is coming from someone who doesn't have one, looking from the outside in, it shouldn't really be about the item that it gives. Maybe in some cases, in his case, it was like special, and it should still remain that. I don't even think he should want it. Obviously, he has his own reasons, right? Because when he looks back and he thinks of his memories, they farmed exalts together, not
Right.
divines, right? So it doesn't even make sense to me personally to try to like appease a situation where like you're immortalizing yourself or a situation into the game that you play and love, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of the thing. And the item, the end result is just kind of the byproduct of whatever it is.
His issue is the value of the card. I understand it. And that's the only issue, is the value of the card.
It shouldn't matter though. Like, why does that matter to the creator when it has a special meaning to him to begin with? I'm sure he wants it to be special in the game.
It's exactly what we were talking about earlier with adaptation and overcoming jarring changes that the game is always going to make. 3.0, 3.15, they're always going to make the jarring changes. They're always going to do it. Just expect it.
It happens quite often. With the history of Path of Exile, it's gonna happen, and there'll be another jarring change down the road. I'm sure 320 will be. I've said this before on the cast. More of an apology league where we get cool things, but you best believe in a couple leagues when player power grows to a point to where they're like, "Hold on, we need to bring this back." It's gonna happen again.
I agree.
They can only. Player power, right, can only grow so much before they either have to bring us back down or buff monster power. And when you start playing this weird game of balancing player monster, you don't ever change the baseline. You're only changing numbers.
Yep.
The end result is still the same. You just create a situation to where you're just raising numbers up.
Yep.
You're raising monster life, you're raising this up, you're raising that up, right? It's a back and forth. So they eventually have to start pulling things back. As much as I may not agree with the way that they went about it, this league, or certain changes, it's still kind of a necessary function of balancing in the game.
I do want to kind of just touch on like the whole divination card situation. Just to throw my opinion out there, is I think if they make a change to the game that affects the item that you chose for your divination card that you paid money for, you absolutely you shouldn't get to remake your card or like choose something different and just be like, hey, we'll make this instead. I feel like GGG should reach out to you to essentially, hey, we're making a change. We want to give you the opportunity to alter your card slightly
And they
to something
do
different.
in cases where it really breaks everything.
They did reach
And
out to
things
me.
like
They did
so
reach out
Brother
to me.
Stash should have been changed, in my opinion, because it had a special meaning. It had, and he paid for it to signify, hey, this was a stash, as in something very expensive to remember his brother by.
I see both of your points on this, and this is the unwavering stance. Both of you guys are disagreeing about this, and I think both of you are correct. I think
I disagree with you.
I think.
How about that for a second?
I disagree with DadBod disagreeing with you.
Oh my god. But
Meaning
I see
with you.
Deedle's point that they were farming exalts, and I see DadBod's point where they were farming value, and you guys are both right. And it's such a hard fucking decision to make. And I think GGG just says, you know what? There's way too many fucking exalt cards. We don't have time right now. Get fucked.
And maybe they don't even plan on keeping this change either. Right? What if they revert
That
it?
would be
terrible.
That would
piss off so many people.
But
then again,
it would. I don't think it would.
That would be another fucking jarring change. That's what it would be.
The other thing I was going to bring up with the not in the game aspect is think of all the people that got tattoos of exalted orbs. I actually considered getting a tattoo of an exalted orb.
They didn't give out.
They're just like, look, now I have like a 15 chaos on my arm.
Are they gonna give out divine squishy stress balls at ExileCon 2? Because I have a squishy exalted stress ball. That's what? It's fucking 10 chaos now instead of 200.
I have an exalted hoodie and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Might as well give me a chaos. Just throw 5 chaos on my shirt.
Maybe that's what it was. There was too many angles to mass produce those
Jesus
exalted orb plushies.
I
tell
you what.
No, I tell you. Hold on. So you know for a fact that people that have divinations in the works are going to make divine orb divination cards this coming week.
Sure.
People that have
just gonna say no.
No, they're not
do
gonna
have
say
the
no.
right to say no, but I don't think they would on this round. I don't think they would. There's no fundamental. There's no fundamental like.
They said yes to all the exalted cards. Why would they say no to divines?
Exactly. Most things I think they're okay
vision?
with.
Yeah. Well, can you feel the weight?
Yeah.
Close your eyes and divine.
Can you feel the weight of the? Yeah. Anyway.
How many things have you divined this league?
None.
Zero.
I divined a claw twice, and I divined a La Hoop of all kind of early.
All right, fucking rich asshole.
So, and then someone in my chat,
top 1%.
Someone in my chat was talking about how they made an elevated tailwind elusive onslaught boot, and how they had to divine it to be good. And I said, well, in that case, when you're dealing with a situation like that where you have a pretty high end item, I think like you're less inclined to think about the value of the divine anyway, and you want your item to be good, because when you're already dealing with I don't know how much elevated tailwind elusive onslaught boots cost this league, but I assume it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 divines. Probably, if you wanted to buy a ship pair, probably a little cheaper to make depending on your RNG. And throw in 4 or 5 divines at that to have good rolls is just you're increasing the value for either yourself or for the person that you're maybe trying to sell it to.
Well,
I think Path of Exile players, I think with this, divines and exalts, it just goes back to what we were harking on earlier. There will always be uncomfortable, jarring changes to this game. I've seen it for 6 years now. There will
Mhm.
always be uncomfortable changes. They have a history of it since the dawn of time.
And I tell you one thing, that eventually time goes on and people get accustomed to it.
You
and
adapt. You
if it-
adapt or
if it-
die.
You adapt to it.
Yeah,
Some,
you have to.
you know, like
Or-
315, the mono multipliers and the flash changes.
Yep.
All that seems normal now, right? Like your damage numbers or the damage nerfs, the mono multipliers. Now it's like, okay, it's just becomes, it's been
The new normal.
a year and a half almost since
Yeah.
that's happened, and no one really gives a shit about that. No one gives a shit about the harvest nerfs from 313. Some people still talk about it, but
I give a shit about the
now,
harvest nerfs
nerfs are
of
now.
now. Yeah, I give a shit about the 319 harvest nerfs.
People want 314 harvest or 315 harvest back. They're like, give that shit back now.
Yeah.
Just give us reforged suffix, reforged prefix. When people before were like bitching about, oh, my hog, man, I can't do this to that and do that. Now it's on
I
something
still have
different.
harvest blocked.
I tell you
now-
Probably
what,
never unblocking it.
that's
And
that's
now you
gotta
have,
be that's gotta be the fucking core of this podcast, episode 12. Adapt or die. Adapt or quit.
evolve or dissolve.
That's it.
That's
That's
it right
it.
there. Evolve or dissolve.
And
I
it's
mean,
unfortunate, but
Climbing the
or
ranks,
you
shooting
quit.
blanks.
Like people quit too. Like, and it gets too much to handle for them, and they don't like it.
And they
they're
come
like,
back.
I can't see a way around this,
Yep.
and I'm gonna quit. Right?
And then they come back a few leagues later and they love it. Like I'd have firsthand experience doing it.
Exactly.
did
It's a
It's a
never
cycle.
ending. It's a cycle, and
a
it's
cycle.
not exactly an unhealthy cycle to take a break because you don't like the direction that the game is going.
I agree with that.
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing and you're bowing out and admitting defeat. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Well-
how things go about, and we don't really know what's going to happen in the future, and we should be prepared for a lot of different things.
So,
And-
missing patch. Who knows about what it was supposed to be? You know about what it was supposed to be, Deedle?
Yeah, we talked about it last time. The permafrost changes. So changing permafrost to not be damaging ground anymore.
That'd be
and,
great.
Only be chilled ground. The incendiary, magic monsters not having toxic anymore, and only rares having toxic. Magic monsters not having incendiary. Lake changes, no gem rewards on T3 and T4 tiles. We were supposed to have it by the end of the week, but we didn't
It is
get
now
it.
the beginning of the next week.
It's now the beginning of the next week. Now we can only assume that we didn't get it because it wasn't ready. But why couldn't we get like a
No
post saying,
posts.
"Hey, we know we made this post saying we were gonna do this thing by the end of the week. Shit happens. You'll have it by the beginning of next week, or whenever the timeline is. Timeline got pushed back. Okay, kind of sucks because that is a huge quality of, not even quality of life, like permafrost, toxic balls. When you kill a toxic pack in like an incursion or something, and you have a huge magic pack, and it's like, it's not there's one. If you have one toxic pack in a map, then you're gonna have several, right?
Yep.
Like
The
sometimes
same type of mob all
the
have
same
it.
type of mob, right? So like, or corruptor, and I'm not changing corruptor, but like I had a map once where like every single blue pack was just nothing but corruptor. You get that with toxic, and if you kill a huge pack of toxic monsters, and then you kill another pack, you got 45 toxic balls chasing over your head that I don't care how much chaos res you have. If they all come over and splash you in the face, you're probably gonna fall over. So it would have just been really nice to just have an ETA or an idea of like when we can at least expect it, if we can still expect it, right? Like whenever they go dark like that, you never know what is actually going on, especially because GGG is usually really good about communicating these things.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that toxic change too, because not only like in normal cases when you're killing a magic pack and toxic happens, you still have to dodge and it's difficult. But I've been leveling my characters with blight maps recently with verted oils, And if you get a blighted map with toxic on it, you
Ugh.
have to constantly be vigilant because that shit comes out of nowhere. Because all the towers are just killing everything off screen, and the toxic shit comes after you. So you just kind of have to be. It's like playing dodgeball, literally.
And you don't even
because
know.
you constantly have to be moving.
Because the towers are killing
You can't take a break.
Our towers are killing from off screen. You don't see them all the time, so you don't know that they have them.
Yeah, you
And then
literally can't AFK a blight map anymore because of that. At least now with these changes, you might be able to again. If I don't know if minion builds can still AFK blight maps.
I'm honestly surprised you're getting good experience from Blight. I never thought that was a thing.
Well, verdant oil gives I think 3x verdant oil gives 105% increased experience gain.
That's what it is.
So you just a tier 1 blight map can give you 2 levels easily per map.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Just get Untainted from Carrick.
Or the Untainted in the lakes now. That's a new thing. Yeah. The Untainted tiles in the lake, the fucking lakes.
They give you a lot of XP too.
Yeah, they do. And they're quick.
They give you almost as much as an Untainted Paradise because they have less mobs. We were talking about it on stream today because I got 2 Untainteds from Carrick today, which was very nice because I was trying to hit 95 before going into Maven. But somebody asked, how does it compare? I think it was Kiki's. And I said, well, I guess they're about the same because, you know, if you get a high level 83 at the end of the chain, reflection of Paradise, and then you get a T16 Untainted Paradise, they're roughly about the same because Untainted can roll 300 to 400% increase XP, but has more mobs. The Reflection of Paradise can roll is 1,000% increase XP, but has less mobs. So roughly, I was getting about the same off of each, around 10% mid 90s, which is a lot of XP. Mid 90s.
Yep. Well, I mean, unless we had something else, Stark, I know you wanted to talk about the build of the week that made its return.
Just build of the week. That's all we got left. That's it.
Yeah. So I saw it was something to do with conduit. I didn't
Lightning
really
conduit?
look at it.
It's a self shock. That's the difference. He shocks himself
and proliferates it, right?
Yes, and then he uses
with Malachi's loop.
Yeah.
And was it Ralakesh's or something like that?
Yes, Ralakesh and Patience, yeah. To build up the chargers.
Really cool build.
Yeah.
And then runs Lightning Conduit and proliferates, and then also runs Vessel of Vinktars.
Yep.
And then he's immune to shock through Replica Winterheart himself.
Yep.
So
but he still builds the percent shock even though he's unaffected by it.
Yeah, so his non-damaging ailment effect still applies to his self-shock, even though he's unaffected by it. Because, you know, you can be unaffected by something but still get the status ailment, right? So it's a really cool build.
A lot of smart interactions, yeah.
I've always loved build of the week, and I'm really glad that they brought it back. They haven't done an episode since 2018. I checked on the last episode that they did. It was 2018. Yeah, it was a while ago. We still had vegan dailies because you hear Bex talk about just get a high level dagger from vegan with hits can't be evaded. And I'm like, vegan dagger? Yeah, they don't have that. But they always like showcase like weird, quirky interactions that people really go through and take a lot of time with putting together. And I've always enjoyed that series. So I'm really, for one, happy that they're bringing it back, and I can't wait to see some of the other builds that they showcase.
Bex, you can absolutely use my build for breadsticks. I give you full permission.
They're not gonna showcase your breadsticks.
Fucking Olive Garden build.
It's not.
I don't know.
Anyway.
There is a
War
really cool
Chief
interaction, though.
Totems. War Chief Totems, your family here, fucking
Yeah,
Olive
but just
Garden,
because you're
all you
getting
can
on
eat.
kill, you're getting on kill effects on something
On Call of Steel, that's
on
really
Call
cool.
of Steel. That's one small interaction.
Mm.
Go back and watch Build of the Weeks and watch how many cool interactions are going on in those builds. There's more than
DadBod
one.
uses all rare items that don't really do anything other than give life.
Yeah, what are
and
they gonna say?
resistance.
Yeah, he has a really cool interaction with Call of Steel to where you can proc Onslaught and Life on Kill.
And Frenzy
See you
Charger.
next week on Build of the Week.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
It's not Bex
Burn.
anyway. It's
Oh,
not Bex
well.
anyway. It's
I'm also doing
Eben.
some testing.
It's
I
not
don't
Baxter.
know. Can Call of Steel when you Call of Steel, can it apply things like maim or curse on hit?
No, because it's not a. Well, I don't know if it can. I don't know. So it can't if you like you can't attach any supports to it because it doesn't have a skill that you're supporting with. But if your build inherently maims on hit, like
Like a ring or
Gladiator,
something, or I meant like a curse on hit, like on a ring or something.
maybe curse on hit when you pull the impales. But I'm
Don't
not
actually know.
exactly sure. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if.
Probably something easy to test in standard
I'd
or something.
assume that the shards from Call of Steel probably do. You okay? Probably do curse on hit if you have some sort of curse on hit on a ring, or if you have maim from an ascendancy or an axe that 25% chance to maim on hit or something.
Yep.
It probably does because I don't see why it wouldn't. What do you think? Huh? Is your Cats on Crit Bark Pact good enough to be on Build of the Week?
See, the only reason why I'm wondering if it does is because the damage it's pulling is originally coming from the totems. So if the totems can do it, why wouldn't the reflected damage be able to? So I don't know. It's one of those things I have to check out.
It seems
But-
like it should, as long as it's not coming from like Hex Touch or a maim support gem. If
Yeah.
your build has it, it should,
Yeah,
right?
that's fair.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that about wraps it
And-
up.
Yeah, think so.
I mean,
Just gonna be
Lily's coming
trying to
out,
level.
the dog's coming out, so that means we're pretty much done.
I
Mhm.
wanted to tell you about our Cats on Crit Bark Pact build that'll be on next week's episode of Build of the Week.
I think we're waiting.
Short.
So this was week 4. We're probably gonna wait till week 6 for another cast. Yeah, let's do that.
Unless something big pops up in the meantime, I guess. Let's
Sure.
speak about.
Sure. Big up to Tati and Tell for hanging around. Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
late where he's at. He's
like
Thanks for hanging
3:30,
out. That
4 a.m.
yeah.
means a
Yeah,
lot.
for
For Tati, let us know when you want to be on the cast, dude. We'll have you as a special guest. I'll have to move some fucking video around. I'll have to fit you in the damn fucking.
we could just sandwich you right in between Stark and DadBod, you know?
Yeah, you'd be like a.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody that wants to see the entire cast, it will be on Deedledo. God, I always fucking say both.
It's
Deedledo. Is it really?
It's Deedledo, yeah.
I always say dough
Always been
because
Deedledo.
you got the dough emote.
Yeah, it's Deedledo.
All right, it'll be on Deedledo's. Fuck me, dude. It'll be on Deedledo. Fucking Deedledo. His YouTube. Deedledo's fucking YouTube. The whole cast will be on Deedledo's YouTube.
The same name, Deedledo. See, I remembered how to spell it this time. Actually, I was just reading it off the screen. But yes, it'll be on mine.
Be on his YouTube.
Should be up by tonight. If you have any questions, concerns, topics you would like to see us cover in future episodes, let us know. We will try to fit them in.
Get
As
on
always,
get on the Reddit thread because I'll post the cast to Reddit. So
like, share, subscribe. Talk
Tell us,
about it with your friends.
Tell us what you want to hear
and,
about on the Reddit thread. Post a
And
comment.
tell us if you've made it this far in the comments. What was a change that happened in Path of Exile?
Good call.
Where there was a problem that you needed to overcome and the solution you found to it.
Good call.
And smash that subscribe button. And hit that
Smash
like.
it. Punch it.
And share it to your family and tell them that you did it.
And
Not us.
lightly flick the bell with your finger.
Share it to your
Oh
mom.
God.
Just show your mom a Path of Exile podcast. See what she says.
Show your mom. Tell her Deedledo said so.
But for realsies,
And that's the bottom line.
Oh my God. For realsies, if you're not already following all three of us, we all stream.
Yeah.
Me the least, but these two are pretty consistent.
Deedle and I are on opposite schedules, actually.
Drop some subscriptions, some Twitch primers in chat.
Sure. So when I'm not streaming, Deedle's streaming. When Deedle's not streaming, I'm usually live. Twitch.tv.
When I'm not streaming, both of them are streaming.
There you go. Twitch.tv/ all these usernames that you see on screen.
Yep.
Yeah. Stream every day for the last 1,020 days.
I wish. Love you guys. Love everybody. See you week 6 in PoE.
Bye.
I'm gonna go get food. Goodbye.
Sounds good. And we are out.